is your boy, Freelancer Joe, ready to once again get cracking. How are you all doing today? It is a fine and glorious Monday afternoon. Or at least I hope it is fine and glorious for you. Your boy, Freelancer Joe, is actually, appearances notwithstanding, feeling a mite. I had a word for it, and I forgot what the word was. Guess I settled on perturbed. It's not the word I was looking for. Moody? No. Irritated? Well, it is irritated, but it's the same negative vibe, but I'm not. See, and now the fact that I can't even remember the word that I wanted to use is making things even more whatever that word is. Let me see. So, I hope you bear with me if I'm a bit more laconic at some segments of the day as I search for words, because it is not wise to say many things when one is feeling emotional. Now, I'm sure you look at me and you say, but Freelancer Joe, what do you have to get emotional about except for being so awesome? And I would agree with you. And in fact, talking about how awesome I am is making me feel just a little bit better. But there's a little bit of it started off as disappointment. And normally, I can get by with disappointment. I just do the standard routine of suppression. I mean, if things are beyond your control, you just... I'm really looking up that word. Can't remember. Moody. It's not moody, though. What was I talking about? Synonym. Oh, great. Moody's. No, it's not moody. Temperamental? No. Snippy? Curt or sharp, especially in it's close. I mean, I might be snippy, but the reason for being snippy. Yes, I will thank you beforehand for bearing with me if I come across as snippy. And so why would a person be snippy? Ill-tempered? I suppose surly. Okay, there you go. I could be feeling surly. I don't think that was the word. Truculent. Yes. I believe it is the word truculent that I was looking for. Okay, so apparently it's not. No, that's not truculent. Apparently I've been using the word truculent wrong. It's got to be closer to surly. I guess surly. Surly Joe. No? Ah, yes. Irritably sullen and churlish in mood or manner. Yes. That's how your boy Freelancer Joe's feeling. Ornery. If I was playing Red Dead Redemption 2, I probably would have used the word ornery instead. Splenetic. Okay. I've not seen that one before. That's right up there with gruntled, and I'm definitely not feeling gruntled today. I like it. Splenetic. All right. The word of the day, splenetic. Anyway, so why am I feeling splenetic? Well, in the meantime, in the background, you see I've started things up. Okay, but before we go into why I'm feeling splenetic, as well as giving myself the opportunity for using the word splenetic many times, where we left off yesterday was we had fixed the opening of another browser window when clicking on my social media tabs in the button bar for my website on the splash view of my website. and we had uploaded it to S3, and we have verified that the S3 contents were working correctly, but we were waiting for AWS's content distribution service, which I'm drawing a blank on what the name was. Let's log in and see if we can figure out what it is. Gateway? No, it's not Gateway. That's what I use for the Lambda. Not Cognito. That was the authentication one. CloudFront. CloudFront. That's what it is. Right? Yes, CloudFront. That's what it was. So we're waiting for CloudFront to catch up. So let's verify that it still works in CloudFront, or that it now works in CloudFront. So let's go ahead and do a refresh anyway, just in case it cached it in my browser. And let's see if it works. Go to YouTube. Yes. Alright, so CloudFront, the content distribution network, is all caught up. That is good and great and wonderful. But now what it causes me to wonder is in my portfolio, I have links for prospective clients' social websites, social media accounts. So I need to see if that stuff actually works in there too. Let's see. Let's go to... Alright, so that works on that. Alright, I was actually kind of hoping that it didn't work, to be honest. Because it would have given me something to do. Let's check for the other views. Alright, so view 1, view 2. We gotta go through each one just to make sure. And this is the pure template. Okay, so that works on the pure template. It might just be, yeah, it might just actually be my personal site. And even though these templates are, the majority of the stuff is cut and pasted from my site, obviously. If I'm remembering correctly, these three views, home, view 1, view 2, view 3, are all based off of my content pay-per-view component. And that was all working fine. It was just the splash view that was causing problems. But let's verify just in case. Twitter. Alright, Twitter's there. Check the top bar too. Alright, top bar is working good. So, all I'm doing this. So yeah, Splenetics. So I started off with disappointment. And normally I'm good about handling disappointment. I mean, something's beyond your control. You know, then there's no point in getting splenetic about it. But then, so I suppressed it. I was disappointed, but hey, let's move on. But then you gotta wonder, was I really suppressing it, which is acknowledging it happened, and then just pushing it back, or was I repressing it and being honest about my feelings? And the more I examined it, or thought about it, the more frustrated I got. And that's really what I was feeling. It was not so much disappointment as it was frustration. So dealing with frustration, my particular method about that is simply to kind of, be splenetic about it. You know, that's something that's very difficult to suppress, because you kind of bottle that up inside, and it's just not a good thing to keep inside you. But on the other hand, you have to be very careful about it, because you might say things which you really shouldn't say, or you might do things that you really shouldn't do. Now, unless you happen to be a very charming individual who can get away with that sort of thing, or the sort of individual who has no shame and has no difficulty in groveling for forgiveness after doing something that is inappropriate. Now, as much as I make a mockery of myself on this channel, I do have some pride. So, yeah, groveling for forgiveness is not in the cards. Because by the time I realized I should grovel for forgiveness, I also realized, hey, I'm so freaking awesome. Why am I groveling for forgiveness? Yeah. All right, so it's looking like all right. So I was a little concerned that my templates would have that same bug, at least in some of the views, primarily the home view. But no, all the templates are good. So my website looks like it's all up to date and everything's working. Everything's working. And my templates are all good. Great. Awesome. So what is the next step? Well, aside from marveling at the fact that I have never heard about the word splenetic before, and I tend to think of myself as, I know I don't speak the English goods, but somewhat versed in the fancy words that you use incorrectly to make yourself sound better. But splenetic wasn't in there. All right, so next, let me see. All right, so I had broken down the three things, the potential paths to follow. There was actually, when I was thinking about it, there was another one too, and that was integration with an external API, not one that I manage myself. And that's actually a pretty good one. Like for example, if I wanted to, okay, well, an example of say a potential client, right? Like say Bell Music School, they might have their own, not their own, but they might have another third party that handles payment processing for them, like PayPal or Squarebox, I think, or Stripes, right? So they would want their website to integrate, well, integrate, but really just communicate with like the third party's REST API. So what I could do is basically on, say, my page, as an example, just have like a donate page to, say, PayPal, right? So I make a REST API call to PayPal for a donation, that kind of thing. That was one thing I could do, but that's also something I probably want to do off camera first, just to play around with. So that was the fourth thing, but the first one was starting with Vue.js, but again, that's also something I want to do off camera. And then there was more AWS service development, or not service development, because I'm not developing services, but service interaction. But I've hit the basic ones that I want. You got S3, you got Lambdas, you got Dynamo, and Cognito is the one that I need to work out a little bit more, but again, that's something for off-camera stuff. So I decided on doing a calendar integration. So now, were I a newbie, I would say, oh, well, I can develop one myself. A newbie being somebody relatively, yeah, well, I'm sure you know what a newbie is, somebody new to the field. Like fresh out of college, they say, oh, yeah, I can write one myself. And, but I'm Captain Cut and Paste. If I've encountered a problem, one, lots of other people have probably already encountered the problem, and two, lots of other people have already solved that problem. And as good as I am, and I'm very, very good, I would not be so narcissistic as to assume that I would outweigh the collective knowledge of a whole bunch of other people who might be as smart as me. So if they got a solution that works, then I should go ahead and just use their solution. So the first thing we want to do then is, we know we're searching for a React library, and we're looking for a particular function, which is a calendar. Oh, I hope they're not going to do the date picker. I don't want a date picker. And React calendar, npm, so we'll go ahead and take a look. Oh, there we go. As well as I like these example ones, which kind of aggregate a whole bunch of different examples, and you can kind of look and see if any of them kind of off the cuff look like which one. But this one was like the first match returned by Google, so let's take a look. All right, that looks more like a day picker. Yeah. Yep. Okay, this is closer. Ah, yeah. Okay, that looks pretty good. Oh, yeah, here we go. Oh, maybe I can just integrate with Google Calendar. Ah, okay, here we go. That's actually probably closer to what I want. React Event Calendar. Alright, so Big Calendar, which is the one I was looking at, is the second. And the other thing that's also important to look at, the dates these things have been updated. So as you can see, this one was updated about 2 years ago. So that might be a little bit out of date. This one updated very, very recently. So we'll keep an eye on that one. We don't need this. Days. Okay, days is not bad either. Yeah. Alright, so let's start off with, let's start off with React Big Calendar. Let's see if they're, this is package for NPM, that's good. And let's go to their website. Oh, it has drag and drop too. Nice. Let's go to their Git repository, which in theory has a link to a demo. And we'll take a look at the demo. Yeah, okay. By week, work week, day, agenda. And let's take a look at the source code to see what it kind of looks like. Big calendar, which is events, and the views we pass into it. Okay. Arrow functions. I hate arrow functions. Show multiple date times. Okay, seems pretty straightforward. Starters. Run examples locally. You must choose some moment. Okay, I have to localize the date. Yeah, handling date times is always kind of funky when you're doing web stuff. Okay, let it. I mean, it seems pretty straightforward. Alright, so the first step, though, is going to be doing the install. Alright, so this is going in my demo project, so let's go ahead and switch the view to the demo one. I probably don't need to do a full install, but I'll go ahead and update the script anyway, just to be consistent in case I need to reinstall it at some later point. Oh boy, I hope I was not bamboozled by my mic again. Okay, now optimization, image compression. Oh, I still need to go back into that. Third party. Okay, so this looks like this is going to be a third party. Sudo npm install. We're going to save dev, and we'll just go ahead and do all these things just to keep things simple for me. Save dev, because I'm not distributing this library. I mean, I'm distributing it, but just a distributable. I'm not distributing it as a library. Unsafe perm, that was just something I learned doing something else. Root, because permissions. And we'll go ahead and run this. I wonder if it's automatically going to pick up the localizer. I have to also install that too. Alright, so while I'm doing that, so what to do when you're splenetic because you are frustrated? Well, you have to think about whether or not your frustration is valid. Because I was thinking about whether or not my disappointment was valid, and as it turns out, I was actually disappointed, frustrated, whether or not my frustration is valid. And that's a tough one. That really is kind of a tough one. Because how do you look at things objectively when you are feeling splenetic? I'm going to keep using that word. I mean, maybe it's best not to actually think about it until you've kind of let it all out and you settle down. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. And then the other thing is, I mean, you look at it from your own perspective, but then you have to think about it from other people's perspectives. I mean, and it's not often, it's not a binary thing. Oftentimes you end up in the gray area. Like, maybe other people shouldn't have, well, I'm assuming it's other people. It could be events. And then, you could say from your perspective that you might have been led on, but on the other hand, maybe that's merely because of how you interpreted things. So you really have to consider those things. All right, so it looks like it installed it, but it says I have to use a localizer. Actually, first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to bookmark this page. I'm going to bookmark it under my GitHub projects, but I need to. Oh, here we go. We'll star this in GitHub projects. Done. All right, because we are, well, probably not going to get it all done. Alright, set localizer. What's more important, Moment.js or what's better, Moment.js or globalize? Well, when in doubt, let's go take a look at the last time they were updated. GitHub. Release. Releases. June 1st. Not too bad. Globalize. Releases. July 17th. You figure date stuff doesn't change too much. Well, going on the fact that in this one, I really should have left it open. Moment is the first example, and it's not going alphabetically. I'm going to assume that they're like moment.js. Alright, so npm install moment. Alright, so we'll go ahead and copy this line. And we'll go ahead and moment. And copy that and install. Oh, it's probably going to ask me for my password again. Oh, no, okay. Within the time frame. But yeah. And unfortunately, not that I was already going to be super productive anyway, because it's Monday, you know. And actually, I was kind of hoping, I did my training. Thank you for noticing that I'm looking really, really jacked. I was really hoping that I'd kind of burn off a lot of that negative energy. And all it's really done is made my body physically tired, but my mind more sharp. And my mind is focusing even more on the negative energy. So that's not so good. But on the plus side, I think I'm actually going to use this negative energy to kind of send some messages that I've been meaning to send. So, you know, you can kind of take negative things and turn them into positives. It's really how you choose to look at these things. Okay, so we installed that stuff. Alright, save that. Let's bring up the calendar view. And probably should have left that open. Alright, let's see. Their sample code basically just says big calendar localizer. Trying to figure out the usage on this one. I wonder if events are required. Well, let's see. I could probably just look at, you know what? I don't think this start is going to... What is this? Big calendar. Well, by calendar. Yeah, don't want to go down that route. So we'll include the imports for now. I'm not using it, that's fine. And according to this, all I really got to do is run on a div, big calendar with the localizer. And it says events and the start and the accessor. But I don't know if those things are required. Well, I don't have to worry about, well, I know localizer is required, so let's go ahead and, this is a constant, so let's put it up here. Alright, and as for localizer, events list, let's see if they have an API documentation. They should have an API documentation. Demos and docs. API, there you go. Localizers required. Events are not. Okay, well, let's see if we can start it up. I'll be surprised, because we are just about at the 30-minute mark. Probably shouldn't have spent all that time talking about how splenetic I was feeling. Now that was fairly quick. Will at least end on a high note? If I was smarter, I wouldn't have actually pushed this far. I would have stopped when I did the code, and I would have picked up tomorrow with the npm start. See, this is one of the things. This is why you got to be careful when you're feeling emotional. You do things that you probably shouldn't. And if it doesn't work, I'll feel even more splenetic. But come on, baby. Make Freelancer Joe feel some good. Some positive vibes. Well, at least it came up. That's interesting. All right. Come on, calendar. Aww. Double check to make sure that it is one of the calendar things that's throwing an error, not the authentication. Yep. Scroll bars. What do you? Come on. Come on. Come on. Scroll up. Here we go. Oh, all right. You know what? Screw it. I'm going. I'm gonna try one more time. Come on, baby. Gotta end on a high note. Gotta end on a high note. Freelancer Joe needs the feel goods. So we definitely have a bunch of warnings because I haven't bothered cleaning up my demo. EVTS? What? What EV? The hell are EVTSs? Looks like that's required too. Wait. Yeah, the above error occurred in the month view. Events is marked as required in month view. But according to the documentation, events. It doesn't say it's required. Aww. Oh well. So we end with negative vibes. Yeah, well, these things happen. So we'll pick it up tomorrow. Thank you for joining me. Cool Kid words about liking and subscribing, commenting and suggesting. Hopefully you'll join me tomorrow, where hopefully we'll be able to get some good vibes going. And I hope that until then, you take care and God bless.